Yo, what's going on, my people? It's your big homie Crooks the Great, aka CTG, and I'm back at you guys with a very important Undisputed video today, because in today's video I'm going to be talking about the biggest mistakes I see players in the community making and how to correct them to set yourself up for success in Undisputed for the long run. Now, I wanted to make this video because I realized there's a lot of new players to the community, and some of you guys might be struggling to really have success in Undisputed. And I've always been a believer that if somebody is struggling and they're wanting to be competitive and there's a lack of, in-depth tutorials about a game, they tend to turn more towards spammy gameplay and trying to cheese because they want to be competitive. So I don't want that to be a trend for the Undisputed community. So I want to show you guys the biggest mistakes that I see players in the community making, so that way if you guys are making them, you guys can correct them. And when the game actually does get patched by Steel City, you're gonna have a lot easier time getting wins in the game, and it sets you up for success in the long run. So with that being said, the first mistake that I see players in the community making is not using quickfight. Now, unfortunately, right now there is no practice mode for Undisputed. There's not a designated area where you can actually go and practice. So that's where quickfight comes into play. So I'm going to show you guys how I set it up to basically act like a practice mode. So I'll go into quickfight right here. I'll select player 1, and then whatever boxer I really want to work on, or whatever boxer you're wanting to be using in your favorite weight class is where you're going to go to. So obviously I've put in a lot of work with Sugar Ray Leonard, so I would pick Sugar Ray Leonard, and then I would use this opportunity to go against somebody or choose another boxer in the opposite corner that I'm going to see a lot of in ranked. So you're going to see a lot of Sugar Ray Robinson in welterweight. You're going to see a lot of Terrence Crawford, and you're going to see a lot of Canelo Alvarez. Now, why this can be beneficial to you is all of these boxers have different skill sets. Sugar Ray Robinson, a lot of the players are going to be trying to fight on the outside because of the reach that he has, the reach advantage that he has, as well as with Terrence Crawford. A lot of Terrence Crawford players are going to be using Terrence from the outside, but unlike Sugar Ray Robinson, Terrence Crawford can fight inside as well, and he's a switch hitter. You know what I'm saying? So he can fight in both orthodox and in southpaw. But those two are a lot different than Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez does not have a reach advantage. He's much more of a pressure fighter and a power fighter, so he's going to fight you differently. So that's why I would highly recommend you guys doing this. Get used to fighting guys like this. So yeah, I'm going to choose Terrence Crawford for this one. And then the way that I set it up, let me select the gym here. We're going to use 7 heals. The way that I set it up for practice mode is I'll turn it on amateur mode. I'll turn it all the way to 15 rounds. And then I make sure that I set mine to 1.5, or I can set it to 1 for relative time. And then I hit fight. And this is basically going to simulate kind of a practice mode. The AI isn't going to be coming out and trying to take your head off. You feel what I'm saying? They're not really going to be coming out here really to be anything but a punch dummy. And then once you get into practice mode, you want to start working on your range, right? You want to start working on your range. You can work on your combinations. You can work on your angles. You can work on setting your foot placement to try to get the most out of the punch accuracy as you can, and different stuff like that. But I don't see a lot of players using this as much as possible. You feel what I'm saying? Because I realize a lot of you guys want to jump into online fights. You want to be the best in the world. You want to be playing competitively, but utilizing practice mode and quick fight effectively really would pay dividends if you used it the way that I'm telling you guys to use it. But I feel like not a lot of players use it the way that it should be used, because of a lack of not knowing, or just kind of being hasty to jump into online fights. Excuse me. But yeah, it's one of the biggest mistakes that I see players in the community doing. So yeah, if you don't use quick fight this way, definitely use it. It's gonna pay a huge dividends for you, especially when you do decide to jump into online quick fights and in ranked championships and stuff like that, you're going to notice a really big difference, because you're already going to kind of be ahead of the curve in terms of knowing your opponent, or knowing your fighter's footwork, knowing their distance, and kind of just getting a good overall feel for the game. Now, the second mistake that I see people making in online fights is, moving too much, using too much movement. Now, what do I mean? I see a lot of people doing this. They move side to side. They're constantly in motion. Now, although this can be beneficial if you're trying to play a defensive style, this can also be a huge detriment to you as well. Over moving can walk you into power shots. It can move you into power body shots. It can really cause you to lose rounds. So what I would recommend you guys doing, obviously you guys see I have the controller overlay up right here, is teaching yourself to use slight movements. So you see here with Sugar Ray Leonard, I move off to the side to kind of circle myself off of the ring ropes to stay out of the corner, and then I set. Now I set because it's gonna give my opponent the illusion of me planning and throwing a combination. So that's gonna make him worry about, hey, I have to come correct with my timing, because if I don't, he could potentially catch me with a combination and hurt me. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I use that choppy movement. I'll take a step, I'll circle out, but I'm not always in continuous movement like that. And that's something that I see a lot of newer players doing, and they're not having a lot of success, because even if you land a shot while you're moving, it's not going to do a crap ton of damage as much as it would do if you're standing stationary. So that's a really, really big mistake that if you're doing it, I would highly recommend you go into quick fight and just work on just moving, just taking slight steps to the left, to the right, kind of just learning to be nimble fingered with your stick work. Highly would recommend it. Now, the third and last mistake that I see people making in Undisputed that's really a problem is not knowing when to throw shots. Now, this is super important, because this is going to make or break you winning a lot of fights. Now, I know I've kind of talked about broken rhythm, or I touched about on this point a little bit in my broken rhythm video, but knowing when to throw shots is super important in this game, especially when you're going up against guys like Terrence Crawford, Deontay Wilder, or any of the other heavy hitters in the game. If your timing is not correct and you don't know how to set up finding your opponent's timing, you're just going to turn to spamming. You really are. Unfortunately, 99% of the people that spam, that's why they do it, because they just don't have the tools to be able to do so. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. Now, the way that I do it, and if you guys have broken down my fights or watched my streams, is I generally take the first couple of rounds, the first 2 or 3 rounds, to get a feel for what my opponent is wanting to do. Are they shelling up? Are they coming forward and trying to launch off power combination strikes at me? What combinations are they throwing? What's the pace like? You know what I'm saying? I download all of that information in the first 2 to 3 rounds, and then rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7, I'm looking to push forward with the game plan that I've already downloaded. And how I do this is, just using movement, right? Using movement, paying attention to what my opponent is doing. Are they moving towards me? Are they preferring one strike over the other? Are they going down to the body? Are they going up to the head? Are they power uppercut spamming me? Are they power hook spamming me? Are they playing it patient? Are they playing it aggressive? You want to pay attention and download information, and that's going to allow you to pick up on the timing of your opponent, because everybody has tendencies. Everybody is going to play on muscle memory 99% of the time. They're going to do the same thing and repeat patterns over and over and over again. So if the sooner you can figure out those patterns, the sooner you can throw with the correct timing, and it's gonna make for an easier experience for you to land those heavy damaging shots that I know everybody loves to use. But that's it for me, my people. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to slap that subscribe button as well as slap that like button. It would be much appreciated. And let me know, what are some of the mistakes that you guys think you're making in your own games to, you know, that's kind of keeping you guys back? So that way I can touch on it, maybe make another video, maybe go more in depth in what I talked about here on this video. Because really, I really just want to help you guys out in the community to make it a much more enjoyable experience, and to kind of cut out all these damn spammers that we're seeing in the game right now. But let me know in the comment section, my people. Did you guys enjoy these tips as well? Were they helpful? Were they not helpful? Please, I'm going to be responding to every single comment on this video. But until next time, my people, take it easy. Be safe. Enjoy the rest of your guys' day, afternoon, evening, depending on where you guys are watching this from. And I will see you guys in the next video.